National security continues to be at the top of the minds of Americans as the nation faces grave challenges from all over the world, from terrorists, from nation states alike, and of course, no discussion of our preparedness can take place and be discussed on these challenges without a complete understanding of the role our armed forces play in the effort, and with increasing particularity, our special forces. With that in mind, there's a new book available that will both fascinate and amaze you as it explores the history of America's Joint Special Operations Command, the publication of which raised quite a ruckus with the intelligence community as it reveals secrets and operations never before made public. Our panel will be coming back a little later, but joining me right now is Sean Naylor, an award-winning defense journalist and intelligence and counterterrorism correspondent for Foreign Policy magazine and the author of Relentless Strike, The Secret History of Joint Special Operations Command. Sean, thanks so much for dropping by.
Well, thank you for having me.
Your book is extraordinary, and I was trying to find the starting point to where to do it, so I think the place to begin, when did the Joint Operations come together?
Joint Special Operations Command was created in 1990 in the aftermath of the failed attempt to rescue the US hostages in Tehran. And it was realized then in the Pentagon that the military needed a permanent command that could run missions like that in the future, because the mission that had been undertaken to try to free the hostages in Tehran was a completely ad hoc force put together.
Each of the armed forces overseeing their particular special forces.
Exactly, at the time. And then when they were brought together for this task force, it was the first time that many of them had worked together and so forth. And that created a lot of friction that shouldn't really have occurred.
So what are the elements that are under, what's the acronym we use for it?
JSOC.
It's JSOC, and that's really how most people refer to it. What are the elements? What are the parts of JSOC? There's the Navy SEALs, there's
Navy SEAL Team 6, which is one of JSOC's special mission units, as
now
they
the
call them.
remaining parts of Navy SEALs are not part of Oh, interesting.
No.
Okay.
And then you've got the Army's Delta Force. You've got a portion of the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, which is an Army elite helicopter unit. You've got the 75th Ranger Regiment, contributes to JSOC task forces. You have a very shadowy intelligence / special operations organization that I refer to in the book as Task Force Orange, which was for a long time its nickname
why are they more shady, let's say, than or shadowy than, say, SEAL Team 6?
They conduct a lot of intelligence operations. For a long time, they did a lot of work for the National Security Agency, the NSA, and they often would work in much smaller numbers or even singleton missions. Now, of course, the other special mission units, Delta Force and SEAL Team 6, have started to do a lot of that sort of work themselves, so there's a certain amount of overlap in terms of roles and missions.
So it's interesting, so people understand, you basically have the special forces, but it sounds like only the cream, if you will, of the special forces, only the best of the Delta Force, only the best of the Rangers. I know there's a lot of other divisions of the Army Rangers make it into this program.
It's not quite like that. It's those units answer to JSOC, but other parts of the special operations community, for instance, Army Special Forces, otherwise known as the Green Berets, they do not fall under JSOC. JSOC specializes in particular in direct action missions.
I see. Okay.
And so if you want the best force in the world to go and train Afghan troops, or the Northern Alliance, for instance, at the beginning of the Afghanistan war, you take the Green Berets, you take Army Special Forces to go do that. And they are not part of JSOC. They are the experts at operating by, with, and through.
I see.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the things that certainly got my attention, apparently the Special Forces don't always get along with JSOC command. You tell a story in the book about the night of the bin Laden raid. Not everybody was on the same page.
Yeah, that's true. There was, and indeed in the run-up to the bin Laden raid, there was a certain amount of friction between elements in SEAL Team 6 and the JSOC commander, Admiral Bill McRaven, over how to insert the force. Not everybody was keen on using the stealth helicopters, one of which ended up crash landing.
One of them didn't survive.
Yeah. And you know, there were some in SEAL Team 6 who thought that they could do the operation as a free fall parachute jump, which was a mission they had trained for years, to go and get Osama bin Laden, assuming he was going to be closer to the Afghan border. And the idea would have been that they would have flown along the Afghan side of the border, jumped out of the plane, sailed on the wind and as a sort of high altitude, high opening free fall technique, and then landed wherever bin Laden was. If they had done it in Abbottabad, they would have had to have crossed the border, and it would have been a more dangerous mission. But no, there was some friction as to whether to just use the regular Chinook helicopters, the free fall technique, or the stealth helicopters.
And you also talk about how close we came on 2 previous occasions to launching an effort to take out bin Laden, and that they were called off at literally the last second.
That's right. There were missions planned in 1998 and 1999 to go and get Osama bin Laden.
Sean, that's all we have time for, and I'm really sorry because there's a lot more I want to ask you. I highly recommend to people that you read the book, Relentless Strike. Thanks so much for coming in, Sean. Sean, again, we're going to do this again. Is the Black Lives Matter movement causing an increase in police officer deaths? Our panel is going to return to discuss that and a whole lot more when we come back right here on the Daily Wrap. Stay tuned.